We are in a new year, and every year people make goals they want to achieve, they make resolutions, and we know that only about 9% of resolutions stick. But why is that? What keeps people from following through? And more importantly, what can you do to be among the few who actually succeed? Success isn't about willpower alone. It's about understanding the mechanics of behavior, reprogramming your mind, and building the systems that naturally lead to achievement. The Stoics understood this centuries ago, and their wisdom remains as relevant as ever. The key to transformation isn't found in fleeting motivation. It's found in the habits and disciplines you create in your daily life. Many people believe that setting goals is the key to success, but the truth is, goals are only a small part of the equation. More important than any goal is the character you develop and the habits you build. When you make a goal, you create an endpoint. But when you cultivate strong habits and discipline, you create a system that ensures success naturally. The Stoics understood that true mastery doesn't come from one-time achievements, but from continuous refinement of daily actions. Your habits dictate your future more than your goals ever will. If you build discipline, develop a strong mindset, and commit to a higher standard for yourself, success becomes inevitable. You don't have to chase it. It will come to you as a byproduct of who you are. Your character shapes your destiny, and in this video, you will learn how to mold yourself into someone who commands authority, respect, and influence simply by the way you think and act. This video will teach you how to establish habits that translate into success, how to cultivate a mindset that ensures results, and why the way you carry yourself has a greater impact on your achievements than any single goal. You will learn how to form identity-based habits, how to command respect effortlessly, how to read a room and communicate with power, and much more. By the end, you will have the tools to not only accomplish more, but to become someone who naturally attracts success in every area of life. Let's begin. Chapter 1: Habits over Goals. The first step in achieving any resolution is realizing that life isn't about goals, it's about habits. The Stoics understood this deeply. Epictetus said, "First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." Your identity is built through your repeated actions, not through momentary bursts of motivation. You don't become disciplined because you set a goal. You become disciplined because you cultivate the habits that naturally lead to the goal. Let's say you want to lose weight. Your focus shouldn't be on the scale, but on the daily habits that lead to weight loss: eating mindfully, exercising consistently, and managing stress effectively. The discipline required to go to the gym isn't about willpower. It's about making it part of your identity. But how do you form habits that stick? Research shows that habits are easier to maintain when they are tied to an existing routine. Instead of saying, "I'll work out 3 times a week," attach the habit to something you already do. After I wake up and brush my teeth, I will do 20 push-ups. The cue, brushing your teeth, triggers the habit, making it easier to remember and execute. The problem with goals is that they make success feel like a distant event rather than a process. If you focus solely on the goal, you might feel overwhelmed or discouraged. But if you focus on the system, the small daily habits, success becomes inevitable. A goal is the result, but habits are the pathway. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, emphasizes that true change comes from identity-based habits rather than outcome-based habits. Instead of setting a goal to run a marathon, shift your mindset to "I am a runner." When your identity aligns with your habits, you stop relying on willpower. You simply act in accordance with who you believe you are. Making habits easy to follow is key to long-term adherence. If your goal is to read more, leave a book on your nightstand instead of your phone. If you want to eat healthier, prepare meals in advance so that the convenient choice is also the right choice. Your environment plays a crucial role in shaping your behavior. The Stoics, particularly Seneca, also warned against procrastination. He said, "While we are postponing, life speeds by." Delaying action in hopes of finding the perfect moment is one of the biggest reasons people fail to establish habits. The perfect moment will never come. You must begin now and improve along the way. To make habits last, consider habit stacking. Pairing a new habit with a well-established one strengthens the likelihood of success. If you already drink coffee every morning, add a 30-second gratitude practice before your first sip. If you drive to work every day, use that commute to listen to an audiobook that enhances your knowledge or well-being. Another effective strategy is the 2-minute rule. Make your habit so easy that you can't fail. Instead of committing to an hour-long workout, start with just 2 minutes of exercise. Once you start, you're more likely to keep going. Reinforcement plays a critical role in habit formation. The Stoics believed in rewarding progress rather than perfection. If you successfully complete a habit for a week, acknowledge your progress. Keeping a habit tracker or journaling about your growth helps reinforce your identity. Small wins add up, and momentum builds over time. Social accountability also strengthens habits. The Stoics often emphasized the power of having a mentor or a community that upholds your values. Joining a fitness class, an accountability group, or simply telling a friend about your habit increases the chances of sticking with it. Humans are wired for social reinforcement, and leveraging this can turn good habits into lifelong practices. The difference between people who succeed and those who don't isn't talent, intelligence, or even motivation, it's consistency. Those who develop the discipline to stick to small habits day in and day out will inevitably reach their goals. And as the Stoics taught, discipline is freedom. The more control you have over your habits, the more control you have over your life. Chapter 2. The Science of Reprogramming Yourself. Now, one of the most effective ways to reprogram yourself is to understand how the brain actually changes behavior. Chase Hughes, a former military veteran turned expert in behavioral analysis and human influence, has trained Secret Service agents, Navy SEAL leaders, and government officials on mastering persuasion and behavioral detection. He's found that there are 3 key factors in determining whether someone succeeds or fails: self-mastery, your confidence, body language, discipline, and authority over yourself. This isn't just about appearing strong, it's about truly embodying confidence. Your internal dialogue, posture, and discipline dictate how others perceive you. If you hesitate, doubt yourself, or fidget nervously, you are leaking weakness to those around you. The Stoics believed that mastering the self was the first and most crucial step toward mastering the world. Marcus Aurelius, in Meditations, frequently reminded himself that external control was an illusion, but internal mastery was within his reach at all times. Observation, your ability to read the room, understand social cues, and adjust accordingly. Hughes emphasizes that most people walk into a room blind, unaware of the silent dynamics unfolding around them. Observation isn't just about looking, it's about truly seeing. What are people's blink rates? Where are their feet pointed? Are their hands open or closed? Subtle cues reveal everything about a person's mental and emotional state, and those who can detect these cues gain a significant advantage in social interactions. The Stoics believed in detaching from emotion to observe clearly. Seneca wrote extensively about the power of stepping back from situations to see them objectively before reacting. Communication, your ability to influence, persuade, and articulate ideas effectively. Words carry power, but only when backed by conviction and understanding. Have you ever noticed that the most persuasive people don't rush their words? They pause, allowing each sentence to land with impact. They don't ask for permission to be heard, they command it through presence and precision. Hughes teaches that effective communication isn't just about what you say, but how you say it. People respond to leaders who speak with certainty and clarity, and the Stoics understood this principle well. Epictetus taught that mastery of speech was mastery of influence. If you can master these three areas, you will command respect, discipline, and influence in every aspect of your life. One of the most effective ways to reprogram yourself is through repetition and exposure. The way propaganda works is by exposing someone to a message repeatedly until it becomes a belief. Why not use that same principle to brainwash yourself into success? Write your mission down every day. Visualize the habits you want to reinforce. Surround yourself with the right influences. Over time, your brain rewires itself to align with the identity you are cultivating. The more often you expose yourself to a thought, the more it embeds into your subconscious. In fact, Hughes suggests taking it even further. Record yourself stating your affirmations with power and authority, then listen to them daily. Neuroscience has shown that the brain absorbs auditory cues at a deeper level when they come from one's own voice. This is the same reason why self-directed learning is more effective than passive absorption. When you hear yourself stating your mission, you're not just listening, you're reinforcing your identity. Moreover, surrounding yourself with the right environment is crucial. Jim Rohn famously said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." If those 5 people are undisciplined, unfocused, and easily swayed by external distractions, it's nearly impossible to rise above them. But if those 5 people are relentless in their discipline, driven by purpose and committed to self-mastery, you will naturally elevate to their level. The Stoics advised keeping the company of those who challenge you to be better. Seneca wrote, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you." Beyond repetition and environment, another key element of reprogramming yourself is disrupting old patterns. Humans are creatures of habit, but if you want to break free from your past conditioning, you must introduce novelty into your life. Change the way you dress, the way you speak, and even the route you take to work. Neuroscience shows that changing small habits disrupts automatic thinking patterns and forces the brain to adapt. This is why traveling to new places often sparks new ideas. The brain is forced to process unfamiliar stimuli. Finally, Hughes emphasizes the importance of ritualizing self-mastery. Just as elite athletes and military leaders follow strict daily rituals, you too must establish unwavering habits. Start your day with intention, whether it's journaling, meditation, or a workout. Anchor your morning in discipline. A strong morning routine sets the tone for the rest of the day, reinforcing your self-image as someone who is in control. The Stoics believed that every day was a new opportunity to refine oneself. Epictetus said, "Progress is not achieved by luck or accident, but by working on yourself daily." By mastering self-discipline, observation, and communication, you forge an unshakable sense of authority. When you combine this with repetition, strategic exposure, and an environment that fuels growth, transformation is inevitable. The person you wish to become isn't some distant version of yourself. It's already within you, waiting to be cultivated. The moment you take command of your thoughts, habits, and presence, you cease to be influenced by the world and start influencing it instead. Chapter 3. The Power of Authority. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking authority is something external, like a title, a uniform, or a position of power. But the truth is, authority comes from within. The Stoics understood this well. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful men in history, wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." So how do you establish authority in your own life? Let's break it down into 5 key elements. Number 1. Confidence. You can't fake it. Confidence is the byproduct of preparation, self-respect, and repeated exposure to challenges that build resilience. True confidence isn't about appearing fearless. It's about knowing you can handle adversity because you've faced it before. Every time you push past discomfort, whether it's speaking up in a meeting, setting a boundary, or taking on a challenge, you reinforce a deeper belief in yourself. Confidence is also shaped by self-talk. If you constantly doubt yourself, your mind will believe it. The Stoics emphasized the power of internal dialogue. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Replace self-doubt with self-affirmation, and confidence becomes not just a feeling, but a way of being. Number 2. Discipline. The ability to put future rewards above temporary pleasure, even when the immediate temptation is strong. True discipline isn't just about willpower. It's about structuring your life in a way that minimizes friction between you and the actions that serve your highest self. This means removing obstacles that make good choices difficult and eliminating triggers that lead to bad ones. The Stoics believed that discipline was the foundation of a strong mind. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This power comes from making consistent choices that align with your future goals rather than succumbing to fleeting impulses. Developing discipline requires understanding the why behind your actions. When you link daily habits to a larger purpose, your motivation deepens. For example, working out isn't just about fitness. It's about longevity, mental clarity, and resilience. Saving money isn't just about financial security. It's about freedom and the ability to shape your destiny. The stronger your purpose, the easier it is to maintain discipline. One of the most effective ways to strengthen discipline is to create a structured environment. If you struggle with distractions, remove them. If you find it hard to wake up early, establish a nighttime routine that sets you up for success. Discipline thrives in structure, and the more you automate good decisions, the less effort it takes to follow through. At its core, discipline is about self-respect. Every time you follow through on a commitment to yourself, you reinforce the belief that you are capable and trustworthy. On the other hand, every time you break a promise to yourself, you weaken your self-image. Discipline is not about punishment. It's about proving to yourself that you can rely on your own word. Ultimately, discipline is freedom. The more control you have over your habits and decisions, the less you are at the mercy of fleeting emotions or external influences. The more disciplined you become, the more authority you command, not just over your actions, but over your entire life. Number 3. Leadership. The ability to guide and influence others through example is not just about giving directives or making decisions. It is about embodying the values and principles you wish to see in others. True leadership is cultivated through consistent actions, clear communication, and unwavering integrity. It involves setting a standard through discipline, resilience, and emotional intelligence, inspiring others not by words alone, but by demonstrating excellence in behavior and decision-making. To effectively guide and influence, one must understand the psychology of leadership and human motivation. People are naturally drawn to those who exude certainty, self-mastery, and purpose. This is why great leaders throughout history, from Marcus Aurelius to modern CEOs, have prioritized self-improvement, clarity of vision, and the ability to remain composed under pressure. Leadership is not about control. It is about fostering an environment where others willingly follow because they trust in your ability to navigate challenges. Furthermore, the ability to lead by example requires an acute awareness of social dynamics, an understanding of how to build rapport, and the skill to communicate ideas in a way that resonates with different types of individuals. Strong leaders do not merely impose their will, they cultivate buy-in, align objectives with values, and create momentum through inspiration rather than coercion. Lastly, leadership through example means being adaptable. The ability to adjust strategies, listen to feedback, and remain flexible in the face of challenges is what separates effective leaders from those who rely solely on authority or positional power. When your actions reflect confidence, discipline, gratitude, and authenticity, others will naturally seek to follow your lead, not because they are forced to, but because they believe in your vision and trust your judgment. Number 4, gratitude. Being thankful gives you control over your mindset and emotions. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is lacking to what is abundant, rewiring your brain to recognize opportunities rather than obstacles. This mental shift reduces stress, improves resilience, and strengthens your ability to navigate difficult situations with clarity and composure. By consistently practicing gratitude, you reinforce a sense of control over your emotional responses, making you less reactive to external circumstances. Moreover, gratitude fosters stronger relationships as people naturally gravitate toward those who appreciate them. When you express thankfulness, you not only uplift yourself, but also inspire others to adopt a more positive and empowered mindset. Over time, gratitude becomes a powerful tool for emotional regulation, ensuring that you remain centered and composed no matter what challenges arise. Number 5, enjoyment. People with authority genuinely enjoy what they do and exude positive energy. They don't just engage in their work, they embody a mindset of fulfillment and confidence that radiates to those around them. Their passion is not forced. It is the natural byproduct of aligning their skills and actions with their deeper purpose. This sense of enjoyment fuels resilience, helping them to navigate challenges without being overwhelmed by stress or frustration. Moreover, their positive energy is contagious, inspiring those around them to rise to the same level of enthusiasm and commitment. True authority isn't about rigid control. It's about moving with ease, finding joy in the process, and making excellence a habit rather than a burden. True authority isn't about controlling others. It's about commanding yourself. When you embody discipline, when you speak with conviction, when you move with purpose, people naturally respond to you as a leader. True leaders don't seek validation or impose their authority through force. Rather, their presence alone inspires confidence and trust. The Stoics knew that self-mastery was the foundation of external influence. When you have control over your thoughts, emotions, and actions, you become an anchor in any situation. People don't follow individuals who are erratic, reactive, or easily shaken. They are drawn to those who remain composed under pressure, who exude a quiet strength that commands respect without the need for coercion. The world is filled with noise, distractions, opinions, and forces trying to pull you in every direction. But true authority comes from stillness, the ability to remain centered despite external chaos. When you refine this inner mastery, you become magnetic. You don't need to demand respect. It is given freely when others see that you respect yourself first, moving with a purpose that is unwavering and undeniable. Chapter 4. The fastest way to read a room. Have you ever wondered why some people can walk into a room and instantly command attention? They aren't just lucky, they've trained themselves to read human behavior quickly. One of the fastest ways to do this is to observe blink rate. A person's blink rate is an unconscious indicator of their emotional state. If someone's blink rate increases suddenly, they are likely stressed or uncomfortable. If it slows down, they are hyper-focused or in a predatory state of mind. The next time you're in a meeting, watch for changes in blink rate. If you see someone's blinking increase, it's time to change the subject or adjust your approach, as they may be feeling nervous, overwhelmed, or even deceptive. If their blink rate slows dramatically, they're in deep concentration. This is the moment to hit them with your most persuasive points, as their cognitive resources are fully engaged in the conversation. Beyond blink rate, look at body language. Are people leaning forward, indicating engagement? Are their feet pointed toward you, showing interest? Are their arms crossed in a defensive posture, or do they seem relaxed and open? Micro-expressions, fleeting facial expressions that reveal genuine emotions, can also be a giveaway. A brief smirk, a subtle eyebrow raise, or a tightening of the lips can indicate skepticism, resistance, or deception. Another critical aspect of reading a room is detecting dishonesty, not just in others, but in yourself. People often lie to themselves about their intentions, motivations, or capabilities. Are you convincing yourself that you're engaged in a discussion when you're actually disengaged? Are you rationalizing your behavior instead of acknowledging a difficult truth? The ability to recognize self-deception is just as crucial as spotting manipulation in others. The Stoics believed in radical self-honesty, understanding that the greatest lies are often the ones we tell ourselves. Manipulation and deception take many forms. Some are obvious, like a person feigning agreement while secretly resenting you, but others are subtle, such as persuasive language that nudges you into actions against your best interests. Understanding body language, speech patterns, and inconsistencies in a person's story can help you spot manipulation before it takes root. Pay attention to deflections, vague responses, and emotional appeals used to steer you away from logic. The Stoics emphasized reason and clarity, urging people to recognize when emotions are being exploited against them. But deception isn't just an external threat, it's also an internal one. The human mind has an incredible ability to justify poor choices, delay action, and rewrite narratives to protect the ego. The Stoics taught that radical self-awareness is key to resisting these internal distortions. Ask yourself, are you blaming others for your failures when the real issue is a lack of discipline? Are you making excuses for inaction under the guise of patience or waiting for the right moment? Are you clinging to a belief simply because admitting you're wrong feels painful? Recognizing these self-imposed illusions allows you to course-correct before they hinder your growth. But self-deception goes even deeper. Have you convinced yourself that success is out of reach due to circumstances beyond your control? Do you tell yourself you're waiting for motivation when in reality you are avoiding discomfort? The Stoics knew that the hardest lies to detect are the ones we tell ourselves. Seneca warned that the mind will always seek the path of least resistance, preferring comforting falsehoods over difficult truths. To break free from these illusions, you must embrace the discomfort of self-honesty and be willing to see yourself objectively. Mastering these skills allows you to navigate social dynamics with greater confidence. Whether in negotiations, leadership settings, or personal relationships, the ability to detect deception, both external and internal, gives you an undeniable advantage, ensuring that you operate from a place of awareness and truth. By sharpening your perception and holding yourself to the highest standard of honesty, you not only protect yourself from manipulation, but also cultivate a mind that is unshakably clear and powerful. Beyond just recognizing deception, the next step is taking action against it. If you catch yourself in a pattern of self-deception, what will you do? The Stoics advised practicing premeditatio malorum, preparing for difficulties in advance so they don't catch you off guard. If you are prone to procrastination, set a strict schedule and hold yourself accountable. If you tend to rationalize poor habits, remove temptations before they can take root. The ability to acknowledge the truth is only useful if followed by decisive action. Ultimately, deception, whether from others or from within, is a barrier to self-mastery. The Stoics remind us that the person who is most honest with themselves is the one who commands true power. When you cultivate the ability to see reality as it is, without illusions or excuses, you become someone who cannot be manipulated, who cannot be swayed by falsehoods, and who moves through life with unshakable clarity and authority. Chapter 5. How to win any argument. Winning an argument isn't about proving you're right, it's about getting the outcome you want. The Stoics knew this well. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Most arguments escalate not because of facts, but because of emotions. The fastest way to win an argument? Listen. Instead of immediately countering someone's point, pause and ask yourself, what is this person really afraid of? If your partner says, "You never call me when you're away," the mistake is to pull out your phone and prove them wrong. Instead, recognize that what they are truly saying is, "I feel unimportant to you." Address that instead, and the argument dissolves. Beyond just listening, another crucial tactic is asking the right questions. When emotions run high, logical arguments rarely land. Instead of debating, redirect with open-ended questions that force the other person to think. For example, if someone says, "Your ideas never work," instead of defending yourself, respond with, "What specifically do you think didn't work? And what do you think would be a better approach?" This shifts the focus from personal attacks to constructive dialogue, which neutralizes hostility and keeps the conversation productive. Controlling your emotional state is just as important as managing the other person's. People mirror emotions. If you remain calm and collected, you influence them to de-escalate. The Stoics believed that external events don't control you, your perception does. If you don't react to provocations, you maintain control of the conversation. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Another essential strategy is understanding when to disengage. Not every argument needs to be won at that moment. Sometimes, the most powerful move is to step back and let time do the work. If someone is too emotional to engage in productive discussion, pressing forward will only fuel their resistance. Instead, say something like, "I value this conversation, and I want to give it the attention it deserves." Let's revisit this when we're both in the right frame of mind. This approach signals that you are in control, not only of your own emotions, but also of the pace of the conversation. Consider using silence as a weapon. People often feel uncomfortable with silence and rush to fill it, sometimes exposing their own weak points in the process. If you sense someone arguing for the sake of ego rather than logic, simply remain silent after they speak. More often than not, they will begin to backpedal or modify their stance without you even having to argue against them. Silence forces introspection and can shift the power dynamic in your favor. Another technique to strengthen your position is mirroring. This means subtly reflecting back the other person's body language, tone, and phrasing. Studies in psychology show that when someone sees their own mannerisms mirrored, they subconsciously feel more connected and are more likely to find common ground. Mirroring helps de-escalate tension and builds rapport, making the other person more receptive to your perspective. An additional method that gives you the upper hand is setting the emotional tone of the conversation. The Stoics believed that emotions are contagious, meaning that if you maintain a calm, controlled demeanor, the other party will unconsciously mirror it. This means you can shift the tone of an argument simply by being composed and rational. If you remain unshaken, they will start to feel less combative and more open to listening. Another powerful tactic is using storytelling. People connect with narratives more than cold facts. Instead of stating a rigid argument, frame your point as a relatable story or analogy that appeals to emotion and logic. The Stoics often used metaphors to explain philosophical concepts, making complex ideas easier to grasp. By telling a compelling story that aligns with the discussion, you create an emotional connection, making it easier for the other person to accept your perspective. Finally, a key strategy for winning arguments without unnecessary confrontation is to reframe the discussion. Instead of making it about who is right, make it about what is best. Instead of saying, "You're wrong," say, "That's an interesting perspective. Have you considered this?" Instead of saying, "That won't work," say, "I see the challenge with that approach. What do you think about this alternative?" By guiding the conversation in this way, you avoid resistance while steering it toward a resolution that aligns with your goals. Winning an argument isn't about overpowering someone with facts. It's about directing the conversation in a way that leads to the outcome you desire. The Stoics mastered this by staying emotionally detached, controlling their own reactions, and skillfully guiding discussions with logic, patience, and awareness. When you master these techniques, you'll find that most conflicts dissolve before they even begin, not because you proved a point, but because you understood the deeper nature of influence and persuasion. Chapter 6. How to build discipline. Discipline isn't about forcing yourself to do things you hate. It's about making decisions that prioritize your future self over fleeting comfort. If you struggle with discipline, it's because your habits serve your current self instead of your future self. The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who remain stagnant is not intelligence or talent. It's the ability to make choices that align with a greater vision rather than short-term gratification. The Stoics trained themselves through self-imposed hardship. Epictetus told his students to practice voluntary discomfort, fasting, sleeping on hard surfaces, exposing themselves to the cold. Why? Because if you can be comfortable being uncomfortable, nothing in life can shake you. This practice wasn't about suffering for the sake of suffering. It was about conditioning the mind to remain steady, regardless of external circumstances. The more you push your limits, the less power the world has over you. When you willingly expose yourself to small hardships, you build resilience for the inevitable challenges that life will throw at you. You develop the ability to face adversity without fear, to persist when others quit, and to act with purpose rather than emotion. Every time you push yourself beyond what is easy, you strengthen your willpower like a muscle. Over time, this practice rewires your mind, transforming temporary discomfort into long-term strength. This is why disciplined people seem unstoppable. They don't wait for motivation to strike. They don't negotiate with their emotions when it's time to act. They simply follow through, because discipline is no longer something they do, it is something they are. They have trained themselves to act independently of how they feel. While others are ruled by moods and distractions, the disciplined person has already decided, long before the moment arrives, what they will do and how they will do it. The key to building this kind of unshakable discipline is to make your habits automatic. Set clear rules for yourself, eliminate unnecessary decisions, and create systems that make good choices effortless. For example, if you struggle with waking up early, don't just rely on willpower. Put your alarm across the room, set out your clothes the night before, and commit to a morning routine that starts your day with focus and clarity. If you want to improve your diet, don't just hope you'll make good choices. Remove junk food from your environment and keep healthy options within easy reach. Even small adjustments like using a smaller plate to regulate portion sizes can make a massive difference in long-term success. True discipline is about engineering your environment so that the right choices become inevitable. It's about knowing your weaknesses and designing systems that remove the friction between you and your desired outcome. If you tend to procrastinate, set a timer for just 5 minutes and commit to starting. If distractions derail you, use noise-cancelling headphones, disable notifications, or physically remove yourself from environments that encourage laziness. The less you rely on willpower, the more consistent you become. But discipline isn't just about structure, it's about mindset. The Stoics understood that discipline is a form of self-respect. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you reinforce your identity as someone who is capable and reliable. Conversely, every time you break a commitment to yourself, you erode your own trust. The key is to make discipline a non-negotiable aspect of your life, not something you force yourself into sporadically. Instead, it must be ingrained into your daily routine, a defining principle of who you are and how you operate. One of the biggest misconceptions about discipline is that it requires constant suffering. In reality, disciplined people enjoy greater ease in life because they've trained themselves to do what needs to be done without resistance. It's not about denying yourself pleasure, it's about redefining pleasure. The true reward isn't in avoiding discomfort, but in embracing the growth that discomfort brings. A disciplined person derives satisfaction from progress, mastery, and self-mastery. Over time, these intrinsic rewards become more satisfying than any momentary indulgence. The more disciplined you become, the more you enjoy the process itself. What once felt like an effort now feels like second nature. With time and consistency, discipline becomes a core part of your identity, shaping not just your actions, but your entire worldview. Discipline is not about restriction, it's about freedom. The more control you have over yourself, the less control external circumstances have over you. It allows you to rise above the chaos of impulsive living and create a life on your own terms. When discipline becomes your foundation, you are no longer swayed by fleeting emotions, temptations, or distractions. Your actions are dictated by your principles, not by convenience. True success isn't just about what you achieve, it's about who you become through the habits you cultivate every single day. Your habits define you, your character strengthens you, and your discipline sets you apart. In the grand scheme of things, every small action compounds, shaping the person you ultimately become. When you prioritize discipline, you establish a system where success is inevitable, where consistency and deliberate practice yield results far greater than any one-time effort. The disciplined mind operates with clarity and precision. It is deliberate in its decisions, conscious in its actions, and unyielding in its commitment to improvement. It does not wait for the perfect conditions to act. It creates them. The ability to discipline yourself is the ability to command your own life. It is the ultimate power because it places you above external distractions, fleeting emotions, and the temptations that derail most people. The disciplined individual is not easily swayed by short-term gratification, but remains steadfast in their pursuit of excellence. They recognize that the key to long-term success is not found in occasional bursts of motivation, but in the steady rhythm of consistent action. And as this commitment to discipline deepens, so does the impact one has on the world. When you master discipline, you become a force of nature, moving through life with intention, resilience, and a quiet confidence that sets you apart from the rest. And remember, discipline isn't a one-time decision, it's a lifelong commitment. Every day you are either reinforcing discipline or reinforcing weakness. The path you choose defines your destiny. The more you commit to discipline, the more effortless it becomes. Over time, what once felt like sacrifice now feels like second nature. Stay committed, stay disciplined, and success will follow as a natural byproduct of your effort and consistency. Your greatest strength lies not in what you do occasionally, but in what you do consistently. The key to mastery is repetition, and the key to success is ensuring that your habits align with the person you aspire to become. Make discipline a non-negotiable, an essential part of who you are, because in the end, your legacy will not be built on singular achievements, but on the disciplined habits that shaped you into the person you were destined to be. Chapter 7: The Fate Model. If you want to influence others and yourself, you need to understand the 4 levers of human behavior. Influence isn't just about persuasion, it's about understanding the deeper mechanisms that drive human decision-making and action. Every interaction, every conversation, and even the way you carry yourself contribute to the way others perceive and respond to you. If you master these core principles, you can shape not only your own destiny, but also the way the world reacts to you. The Stoics understood that true power comes from internal mastery first, and from that foundation, external influence follows naturally. By aligning your habits, mindset, and emotional intelligence with these principles, you create an undeniable presence that commands attention and respect. These are the 4 levers of human behavior. Number 1. Focus. Capture attention. Novelty is key. The brain is wired to notice what stands out, what disrupts the pattern, what feels different. If you blend into the background, you will be ignored. But if you introduce something unexpected, a phrase, a gesture, a new perspective, you break through the noise and seize attention. The key is not just to be loud, but to be interesting, to introduce an element of surprise that compels the mind to focus. Without novelty, the message is lost in a sea of familiarity. Think about the great speakers and leaders of history. They didn't just repeat what others said. They introduced fresh perspectives, used captivating stories, and altered their tone, pace, or body language to keep their audience engaged. The mind craves stimulation, and if you fail to provide it, attention drifts elsewhere. Effective communicators understand that every interaction is an opportunity to create an emotional impact, to make people feel something they weren't expecting. Curiosity is your greatest ally when trying to capture attention. When people encounter something new, their brains are wired to seek answers. Why is this different? What does it mean? How does it apply to me? The moment you make someone lean in with interest, you have control over the direction of their focus. Questions, dramatic pauses, or an unusual but relevant analogy can all serve as powerful tools to draw the listener deeper into your message. The power of capturing attention extends beyond words. It's in the way you carry yourself. Confidence, posture, and the way you command space all influence perception. If you walk into a room with a deliberate presence, shoulders back, head high, moving with purpose, you signal that you are someone worth noticing. People respond to those who seem in control, who radiate an air of certainty and significance. Your presence alone should communicate that you are worth listening to, that your words and actions carry weight. But presence isn't just about standing tall, it's about energy, about intention. If you enter a space with hesitation, people sense it. If you carry yourself with purpose, people feel it. The way you move, the way you hold yourself, even the way you breathe influences perception. Those who master this subtle yet powerful form of communication command rooms without ever having to raise their voice. Make them stop, make them curious, make them lean in. Capture attention with the unexpected, whether it's a well-timed pause, an insightful remark, or an unshakable confidence in the way you speak. Maintain it with intrigue by offering something of value, by drawing people into your ideas and perspective. Cement it with substance by proving that your words are backed by wisdom, experience, and conviction. That is the power of truly engaging with others, not just being heard, but being remembered and respected long after you've left the room. Number 2. Authority. People follow those who exhibit self-mastery because it signals strength, reliability, and a deep understanding of oneself. When someone demonstrates control over their emotions, actions, and decisions, others instinctively trust and respect them. This mastery is not about perfection, but about the unwavering commitment to improvement, the ability to stay composed under pressure, and the discipline to follow through on one's principles. It is the foundation of true authority. When you master yourself, you naturally command the attention and allegiance of those around you. The reason self-discipline, mental resilience, and emotional intelligence are so powerful is because they form the core of true influence. The most respected individuals in history weren't those who simply demanded authority, but those who lived in alignment with their principles. When you consistently demonstrate emotional control, people see you as stable, unshakable, and trustworthy. In moments of crisis, others will instinctively turn to you because they recognize your ability to remain calm and think clearly under pressure. This presence alone can elevate your influence in any environment. Moreover, self-mastery creates an aura of quiet confidence. Unlike arrogance, which seeks validation, true confidence is rooted in competence and certainty. When you know who you are and have mastery over yourself, you don't need to prove anything to anyone. This natural confidence makes people want to follow you, listen to you, and respect your decisions. Leaders who possess self-mastery don't force authority. They exude it effortlessly. This principle applies not just in leadership, but in everyday interactions. Those who govern themselves inspire confidence in others, making them natural leaders in any environment. Whether it's in business, social settings, or personal relationships, people gravitate toward those who possess clarity, emotional intelligence, and an unwavering sense of purpose. When you cultivate this within yourself, you don't have to chase influence. It comes to you naturally. Number 3. Tribe. We conform to what our social circles reinforce, often without realizing it. Our behaviors, beliefs, and even ambitions are subtly shaped by the expectations and norms of the people around us. If we surround ourselves with disciplined, driven individuals, we naturally adopt their habits. Conversely, if our environment is filled with complacency, negativity, or mediocrity, we risk being pulled into those patterns as well. The Stoics understood this well. Epictetus once said, "The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best." This is why choosing your influences wisely is crucial. Your social circle isn't just a reflection of who you are, it's a predictor of who you will become. If you wish to rise, you must align yourself with those who push you forward rather than hold you back. The company you keep has a profound effect on your mindset, decisions, and ultimately your destiny. Just as iron sharpens iron, surrounding yourself with disciplined, driven individuals elevates your own standards and expectations. The Stoics believed in cultivating a circle of people who challenge and inspire you, for complacency thrives in an environment of mediocrity. If those around you accept stagnation, you will unconsciously mirror their behavior. But if your inner circle consists of those who relentlessly pursue growth, you will naturally rise alongside them. Your environment shapes not just your thoughts, but your very character. Influence operates in ways we often fail to recognize, through conversations, habits, and even the unspoken norms within a group. The more you expose yourself to people with high standards, the more those standards become ingrained in your identity. Marcus Aurelius warned against letting external negativity infiltrate the mind, and this wisdom applies today more than ever. If you surround yourself with those who complain, make excuses, and avoid responsibility, you will find yourself adopting the same mindset. But if you immerse yourself in an environment that demands excellence, that expectation becomes your default. Thus, the decision to carefully curate your influences is not merely about avoiding negativity, it is about actively positioning yourself for success. The right people will challenge you, hold you accountable, and push you to become the best version of yourself. Choose wisely, for the path you walk is often determined by those who walk beside you. Number 4. Emotion. The stronger the emotion, the more lasting the impression. When emotions are deeply felt, they anchor memories, decisions, and beliefs in ways that logic alone cannot. This is why moments of intense joy, fear, or sorrow tend to shape our perspectives for years, sometimes even a lifetime. Emotion carves pathways in the mind, creating strong neural connections that reinforce whatever message or experience is tied to it. It is why great speeches, unforgettable experiences, and defining life moments stay with us, influencing our decisions and shaping our identity long after they have passed. This principle is often used in persuasion, storytelling, and leadership. A well-timed speech delivered with conviction can move crowds to action, not because of the words themselves, but because of the emotion behind them. Leaders who understand this know that influence is not just about presenting facts, but about making people feel something profound. The most persuasive individuals don't just communicate, they create a visceral experience that resonates at a deeper level. Whether through the rise and fall of their voice, the weight of their pauses, or the imagery they evoke, they transform their message into something unforgettable. In personal growth, the same applies. Passion fuels discipline, and emotional investment strengthens commitment. If you attach a deep emotional meaning to your goals, you're far more likely to follow through. This is why people who link their ambitions to a greater purpose or personal transformation tend to outlast those who rely solely on fleeting motivation. The stronger the emotional connection to a goal, the more resilient you become in pursuing it, even in the face of setbacks and adversity. When your goal is tied to a powerful emotional driver, whether it's proving something to yourself, honoring a loved one's legacy, or fulfilling a lifelong vision, it ceases to be optional. It becomes part of who you are. Emotion also has a profound impact on decision-making. Studies show that people often make choices based on emotion first, then justify them with logic later. This is why advertisements, political campaigns, and even personal interactions are designed to elicit feelings rather than just present information. Understanding this can help you guard against emotional manipulation, ensuring that the decisions you make are aligned with your values rather than the temporary influence of strong emotions. The Stoics advised mastering emotions not by suppressing them, but by acknowledging their power and choosing to channel them constructively. Instead of allowing emotions to dictate actions impulsively, they encouraged using emotions as signals, indicators of what truly matters, while ensuring that reason remains the final guide. Beyond external manipulation, self-deception can be an even greater threat to personal growth. People often rationalize behaviors, choices, or mindsets that contradict their long-term well-being. The mind seeks comfort, sometimes distorting reality to justify inaction, avoidance, or harmful habits. Recognizing when you are lying to yourself is a skill that few develop, yet it is crucial for true self-mastery. Are you avoiding a necessary confrontation because you don't want to cause drama, or is it because you fear rejection? Are you convincing yourself that you'll start working out tomorrow because you need rest, or is it an excuse to stay comfortable? The Stoics taught that truth, no matter how uncomfortable, is the foundation of wisdom and strength. Seneca warned against self-deception, reminding us that the easiest person to fool is ourselves. Another key element of emotional control is being able to read when others are manipulating or misleading you. Manipulation often works by exploiting emotions, guilt, fear, or even admiration. Pay attention to inconsistencies in people's words and actions. Do they flatter excessively before making a request? Do they guilt-trip you into compliance? Do they avoid answering direct questions? These are subtle cues that someone is attempting to steer you toward a decision that benefits them more than you. Mastering the ability to detect manipulation strengthens your autonomy, allowing you to navigate social interactions with clarity and confidence. The Stoics valued logic and reason over emotional persuasion, making them resilient against deceptive influences. Epictetus taught that true power comes from seeing things as they are, unclouded by bias or wishful thinking. Self-awareness is crucial when it comes to the emotions we project. If you approach a goal with hesitation, uncertainty, or doubt, those emotions can weaken your commitment and lead to self-sabotage. However, if you fuel your pursuits with an unwavering belief in your ability to succeed, the emotional intensity behind that conviction will carry you through the inevitable obstacles. The mind follows the heart, and when your emotions align with your vision, your actions naturally follow. Harnessing emotion isn't about being consumed by feelings. It's about recognizing their immense influence and directing them toward your highest aspirations. Developing the ability to see through both external manipulation and self-deception empowers you to act with clarity, ensuring that your choices are truly your own, rooted in wisdom rather than emotional impulses. The world is designed to pull you away from your own power, but the Stoics teach us that the most powerful person is the one who commands themselves. You don't need motivation. You don't need more time. You don't need permission. You need discipline. You need awareness. You need action. Take control of your habits, and you take control of your life. And in doing so, you command respect, influence, and authority, not just from others, but from yourself.